Okay, so I've already done some of the makeup, i.e. the brows, obviously, because that takes the longest, trying to like film this expeditiously. We have the Black Up Matte Waterproof Brow Powder in shade 2, and then the Benefit Precisely My Brow in number 6. I will list all the skincare in the description box so you can see that. I also have an eye primer on. I have the By Terry Ombre Black Star in Bronze Moon. That's what that looks like. I just applied it with my finger. We have it all over the lid, all the way under the lash line, pretty much out here. That's probably why when you see my makeup a lot, it looks a little smudgy because I've like extended out to here. Probably if I didn't do that, all that stuff wouldn't stick, but that's how we do it. And then we have the Jouer Essential Lip Enhancer on the lips to prep them. I thought it'd be a really great time to do a get ready with me because I always get this comment of like, oh my god, your skin's so perfect, this and that. It generally is pretty good. So we have some dark spots here that we're gonna cover up so you can see how well the products work and how I use the products, as well as one brush that I'm like so obsessed with. It's like new to my collection and it's just perfect for concealing like blemishes or ugly things, etc. Okay, we're gonna start with the Smashbox Photo Finish Primer Water because it's like the best stuff ever. That's kind of like liberal, right? Okay, so while we're waiting for that to kind of dry, I have some Artis brushes to share with you. So first of all, I mean, I've been using them. Do you see them? They're all here. Now, I already have the number 6 and the number 7. These are like my go-tos. They're also my only ones. This was the one I got first because it's like the easiest size for me. Like if you're gonna do foundation, concealer, bronzer, highlight, you can even use them for powder. I tend to not, just because I like something quite light as far as like applying powder. So this, and then once I got this, I was like, this is good. I was like, maybe I can go up to a 7. I had first considered this one because this one is kind of known as like a foundation brush. When you apply your foundation with this, it goes on so crazy fast. I'm trying to decide which one to show you guys. Maybe we'll do half and half of the face. Maybe that's what we'll do, so I can show you the difference between the two. And the other brushes I have to show you are the Oval 3 and the Linear 1. So these are a little dirty right now because I've been using them, so I'm gonna clean them for you. And this is their cleansing pad and this is their cleanser, and this is a foam, which is so awesome. I feel like a lot of kind of like on the spot cleaners are typically like a spray, which is fine too. So what I do is I put a little bit on here. You can also put it directly on the brush, and I just kind of see, I've been using this for eyeliner to do like smoky eyes, and I love it. Honestly, guys, for like the smaller brushes, I don't even use the cleanser sometimes, and I just like rub it into the cleansing pad and it like totally works. Okay, and then this is the Oval 3. I have been obsessed with this for concealer. Under the eyes, and this is like the magic brush I've been telling you about that's like really great for spot concealing. You can use this for eyeshadow. I just think like for my eye size, it's a little big, do you see? So it's kind of, I would love to just concentrate this on the lid, but it kind of ends up, you know, I can't be as precise with this just because of the size of my eyes. Spot concealing, great. I would say after about like, I don't know, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, they're pretty dry. And you can actually use this cleanser to clean your brushes. So you would put some in your hand and then like, you know, just the way you would normally wash your brushes. Okay, so after like yammering on for that long, these brushes are probably good to use. Now, I have mentioned before, whenever I use the oval brushes, I tend to use them with a more high coverage foundation because they blend out so beautifully. Also, you know, when you use any kind of foundation, you always get way more coverage with a brush versus a like beauty blender. So I have the Milani Conceal and Perfect. I'm in the shade 03. So I'm gonna do about half a pump. When I use one pump of this, it's like way too much foundation for me. So we're gonna put a little bit here, a little bit here. Mostly here though. And a little bit down here. Okay, first we're gonna do the Oval 6. So I just go down, go around my, what do you call these? Sideburns. Okay, so I usually, whenever I apply foundation, I tend to go downwards, only because sometimes if you haven't properly shaved your face, I mean, I do that probably bi-weekly, but sometimes, you know, you get lazy. So I go downward. In general, I just think it also just makes everything lay better. Now when I do blemishes, I go the opposite direction. I go up a little, So this size fits really beautifully. I'm actually getting more foundation than I would like up in my, up this area because I tend to like to skip foundation there. So do you see this just like hugs everything, like it goes around your lips, and we'll go like that. And up here, I love this brush for up here because it fits perfectly without kind of disrupting your, you know, when you get foundation in your like makeup. And this one I can easily maneuver around my brows if I've already done it. Okay, so that's the oval 6, oval 7. Do we see the size difference? It's almost double the size. Do we say double, 2/3? Okay, now watch. This is gonna go so fast. Like, this takes like, I don't know, a good 5 swipes and you're kind of done. So we're done there. And then this also maneuvers around kind of the crevices of your face pretty well. Not as perfect as the oval 6 and definitely not as perfect as the oval 3, which I'll show you. And then this is the one where I have a little bit more trouble. I have to be a little more careful when I'm going around my brows if I've already done my brows. I tend to do my brows first or last. It's like either or. So there's the foundation. So I would say we're looking pretty good. Any kind of like blemishes down here are more or less concealed. You really can't see them, especially with these bright lights. When I look in the mirror, I can see it if I'm looking for it, if that makes any sense. So usually before I go on to eye makeup, I will take my concealer, like whatever I need to conceal on the face. I will take, this is the NARS Radiant Cream Concealer in Ginger, and it's like the perfect match for like my face. So I will go through and mark off any spots that I want concealed. And I will just like let the concealer sit there for a while. So that this kind of full coverage concealer becomes even more full coverage. Okay, so on the eyes, like I said, I've prepped with the By Terry Ombre Black Star in Bronze Moon. So I have some new eyeshadows to share with you. These are by GRAFTOBIAN. I have a palette and then 4 shadows to share with you. I'm gonna do swatches because you really need to see how pretty these are. So you've got Subtle Shadow, Apricot, Antique Bronze, and Warm Cream, or Creme, maybe I'm pronouncing it wrong. Look at this color. I mean, just look at the finish of all of these. These two are matte, but they still give off a little bit, like they don't completely not reflect any light. And then this color, this is what I would call a true satin. You know how like satins and shimmers, sometimes there's a very fine line. This one is so pretty. It just catches the light a tiny bit. And then this Warm Cream is quite reflective, even though there isn't very much shimmer in it. It just kind of sets off your brow bone really beautifully. So we're going for a bit of a matte smoky vibe today. We have the Rodeo Eye Blending Brush. I'm gonna get that into Subtle Shadow. And put it in the crease. Ooh. I'm like literally just putting it in both sides, just a little bit, just to start. Do you guys see how easily this brush just like blends into the crease? It's just, it's so easy. A little more on this side. Voila, right? How fast was that? This is a brush by Esam. It's the G29. It's a little dense and it's not like the softest brush, i.e. it doesn't compare to the softness of like any of those Japanese made brushes, but it blends out so fast. So like whenever I like just throw shadow into the crease, this just goes in and blends it out so quickly. It takes like no time. Then with the Rodeo Smoky Eye Brush, we're gonna get Subtle Shadow again and put it in the lower lash line. I know, right? Science. Not gonna lie, looking a bit messy right now, which is always the case. Okay, next is a MAC 283. Still dipping it into Subtle Shadow, and we're gonna do the outer corner. I love brushes like this to do the outer corner, or I guess for me it's like the outer 2/3, because it's a flat brush, but then the bristles at the top are more splayed, so you can apply product and blend it out at the same time. And then go in with the blending brush again, just to clean everything up. Okay, going with the MAC 283 again, we're gonna take Antique Bronze and just put this on the lids. This brush is really great for carving out a lid too. If I were doing a look that was a lot more contrasted, you would see that this could just, you can like literally create a lid with this. This is very smoky. So often what I do on the top, I do on the bottom just to keep things easier. So we're gonna go in with Antique Bronze on the lower lash line too, just a tiny bit, just to balance it. My vanity lights are on this side, so this side's gonna look lighter. I swear, I promise you, it's totally even when I look in the mirror. I'm gonna take warm cream and put this under my brow bone. I'm just looking to make sure it's showing up, because sometimes these lighter colors don't show up on camera. But it's showing up beautifully, yay! I have the Cargo Swimmables in the shade Pebble Beach. It's a very kind of dark brown, right there. This is going in the tight line. So we've added a little bit of definition there. Next, we're gonna take our Totally Clean Linear 3. Now this is, I'm obsessed with this brush for doing smoky eyes. I used to take a pencil brush in. Pencil brushes are not as thin as this. This is so super thin and it just smudges so perfectly into my smaller eyes. I'm obsessed. So I'm just gonna pull a black shadow. This is from the Victoria Beckham Estee Lauder collab. I'm obsessed with these eyeshadows. If anybody knows that Estee Lauder does this formula like in their own permanent line, let me know, because it's so pretty. The way I've been using this is smudging it. Just shutting my eye and just smudging it into the top and bottom of my lashes, and I'm obsessed. Do you guys see that immediate gorgeous perfectly lined smoke? You literally do not even have to try with this. You close your eye and you smudge and you just get the most perfect smudgy line. It's both equally perfect and imperfect, do you know what I'm saying? And then, you know, you can obviously open up your eye and touch up wherever you want, but I mean, and then like depending on where you want to add more smoke, I tend to like adding more on the outer top part of the eye. But if you want to get like that perfectly lined tight line and waterline, oh, perfection. I still have some cleanser left on here, so I'm probably just gonna kind of spot clean that right now. Okay, now I'm gonna curl the lashes. This is a Troy Surratt eyelash curler. I tend to kind of like lift my lid a little bit and then get the curler in there. And I do 1 pump, 2 pumps, 3 pumps at the base. And then you kind of just move it up and do kind of 1 pump towards God. There you go. Oh, a little bit of, I think that's like kind of, I probably need to clean this off before doing that. This is the Sephora Fine Line. I had showed this to you earlier. This is the one I had. I bought this one last year. This is the one I just purchased. They've already changed the packaging, which is great because it's cuter now, I guess, more sleek. Also, I don't care what they do, change it, whatever, just don't discontinue it, because you get the tiny, tiny, tiniest little felt tip liner, and I love it because it does a really great job. So I'm just gonna hold it on the side and run it across the lids. And I don't go all the way, I just kind of go part way because we're gonna cover it with lashes and it doesn't really matter. Then we'll do like a really good line. I always have to tug more on my left eye because of the way I hold everything, but I have more wrinkle on this side. Why is that? I don't know. Okay, this is the Maybelline Lash Sensational Curvitude. This is my new obsession. So I'm gonna compare the two to you, for you. This is the Curvitude. This is the original Lash Sensational. Do you see how much more curved the Curvitude is? Also, the brush is a lot more like movable. Do you see that? It's very mobile, whereas this one's a little more stiff, which it could be, that thing goes both ways for me. Sometimes I want it to be very like movable, and other times I don't want, I want it to be stiffer because you get more mascara on. I don't know what that was. But this has much longer teeth. So you can really push the mascara into the base of your lashes. And then for the bottom lashes, I apply the mascara with this side because it's like shorter brushes and denser mascara application, and then I kind of comb it out with these teeth. So we're gonna flip the mirror up a little and apply the mascara. I'm gonna apply some lashes now. These are the Andrea 92s, which are my absolute favorite at the moment until they discontinue them. Okay, so my lash application process might be more involved than other people's. I first of all pull one of these kind of applicators because I think it really helps to like lay down the lash on the first try. So because it kind of holds the lash flat out, fanned out, you really get a very easy application. Voila. And then I take like a smaller tweezer. I always get like a flat top, not pointy. Like you can use your tweezer mints, but those are sharp. So I use this very rounded off, flat tweezer to align the lashes even closer to the lash line, or kind of fix it if it's a little wonky. Okay, both lashes are on. Now we're going to do eyeliner again with the Sephora. Just gonna clean up the edge, run that across. Ooh, that went really well. Maybe we'll do baby wing today. I don't feel like doing a huge wing. We are going to work after all. Today's gonna be a long day. Today's gonna be coming home at 8 o'clock day. Okay, that's good. I feel like I need a little more darkness on the top. We're gonna go in with this MAC 283 again into that black and just do a little more on the outer corner, right? Don't you feel like everything ends up being a smoky eye? It doesn't matter where I start or what my intentions are. Like, screw my intentions, right? No, that's horrible. Don't screw my intentions. Okay, now we're gonna pull this Oval 3. Watch. So we have all this concealer. Do you guys see all this concealer that we've just left on the face? So I'm just going to tap it in. It literally just makes everything disappear. Now, I'm not someone that covers like a zit or an active blemish, but once it's healed and I have like a scar or a dark spot, I definitely cover it. And I have always used like concealer and I let it sit, and I'd use like a beauty blender or my finger. The beauty blender does an okay job, but because it's wet, sometimes it doesn't look as good. Now my finger does a better job, but it lifts the concealer because it's like, you know, it's being, you know, it's like, because you know when you like, it's like a little cling. This brush, it just taps it in like it's nothing. Because there's so many fibers, it's so tightly packed that it just kind of pushes the product right onto your skin without any disruption. Okay, now I'm just going to take a little more concealer around the nose, because while I don't do a lot of contouring with the nose, I feel like when you can get this part light, it does this kind of like automatic slimming of the nose, if that makes any sense at all. So I've applied that concealer there, and I'm gonna use this brush. I've been loving this brush for so many things. Around the nose, concealer, under eye. I'm gonna show you guys under eye in a bit. So So we kind of, this looks very haphazard, doesn't it? But I promise you, I'm getting like into the nose. And then I do this a little bit. Now, this is maybe a bit much, but I also kind of go into like the nostrils a little bit, just so it looks more seamless. Okay, so next I'm gonna go in with this Lancome corrector in Peach. We're gonna put it on the ring finger, kind of press it in, make it warm, and we're just gonna apply it right there. That's it, like the darkest part. You could go under your whole eye with a corrector, totally not necessary. You guys know my like philosophy behind makeup. It's just like the less the better. The less you apply to your face for it to look the way you want it, that's what you're going for. We're not painting on lines. We are not doing any of that stuff. This is the Oval 3. I'm just going to, you can definitely move, like swipe. I like to pat it in because that's how I do it with my finger. I like putting the initial application on with my finger just because my finger is warm. So that's like helping the concealer kind of get in there, on there more. And then this side. I also kind of like this method over the fingers sometimes because I'm a little more precise. When I use my finger, I tend to get it kind of like in more places. So this is really nice. Guys, I use this for everything. Like I said, like under eyes, nose. I used to clean up my foundation and my concealer. And then I kind of go in with my finger just around the edges, you know, for heat. Okay, so at this point I could skip concealer, but we're not because we love concealer. This is the Sicily number 3. I'm gonna have to show you guys side-by-side comparisons of the 3 and the 2. Because it's not that one is darker than the other, one is just peach and one is just yellow. So again, I'm gonna just apply that with the finger. I always like the initial application to be with the finger, like I said. Now you're like, Jen doesn't like concealer that's lighter. She doesn't, but this is like, it's very yellow and it's brightening. So once you blend it in, you're not gonna think that it's like so light. So I guess we'll bring it down a little bit, tiny bit down, kind of a triangle thing. So at this point, I could go in with the Oval 3 or I could go in with the Oval 6. Maybe we'll go with the Oval 6. I'm kind of feeling the Oval 6 right now. Kind of trying to speed up this tutorial or get ready with me. There we go. Okay, so I tap and then at the end, the very last part, I swipe. Because I don't like pulling on the skin, guys. I know, is it weird? So that's kind of how I do it, right? Really pretty. And then at the end, I kind of do like a blendy thing, you know, the concealer into the foundation. It doesn't really need it. I'm just doing it because like it's like a feeling thing. Okay, now, so usually at this point, I look at my eyeshadow, especially the lower lash line. Before, I would use like a beauty blender, like a tiny one. Now I just take the Oval 3 and I just do that. It is so precise, takes 2 seconds. It doesn't move stuff around. I absolutely love it. See, perfect. We have our GRAFTOBIAN HD Cream Highlight Contour Palette. Oh, my obsession with this is so real. So here's an Oval 3. Just a tiny line there and a tiny line there. I think that's it. I don't know if I want to put anywhere else. And I'm just gonna take the Oval 6 and blend that out. Look. That took 2 seconds. Okay, we are contoured. Yay. Okay, so all creams are done. Time to kind of set the makeup a little bit. Charlotte Tilbury, number 2. This is a Jenny Patinkin Kitten Paw Brush. I love this brush. For the under eyes, I have 2 of these. One came in a kit, and that's why. So this is just like the best powder on planet Earth. It literally shows nothing. I mean, at this point in time, we might start seeing it as we get older, but at this point in time, it is absolute perfection. So we're gonna get a little more of this and put this up here, a little tiny bit. I kind of like going through the T-zone with a smaller brush, just so I get more coverage, and not coverage so much as like just getting more powder. I get shiny there, so I like And then where I have that concealer where I've covered up some dark spots, definitely gonna pat that in. And then I'm just gonna switch to a bigger brush. This is a Wayne Goss number 12. I don't even know if they make this anymore or if he makes this anymore, but it just covers the face very quickly, which I like. And then just a tiny bit at the top. Okay, next we have this Kevyn Aucoin Neo Bronzer in the shade Sienna. Ooh, it's like really fingerprinty, you see? I've been using it. Do you see that? There's like blatantly 5 shades in this like Neo Bronzer. So amazing. It's basically an eyeshadow palette, which is awesome. You get 21 grams of product, which is amazing. Sometimes, here's my thing. You guys know I love like luxury products, luxury items. I enjoy like shopping from those lines. Sometimes you don't get very much product, but most of the time you do. 21 grams of product, that is more than, just name any bronzer. Name any bronzer you like. It's more product than what you probably have in your bronzers or comparable to something else that is like similarly priced. Okay, so I'm gonna swatch all 5 colors for you. So those are the shades from light to dark. You guys know I don't really wear blush, but these 2 colors here are definitely things I would use in the crease of my eye. So to me, this is like an eyeshadow and face palette. That's the bronzer, gorgeous shade, and then that's the highlight. So I'm gonna use this Chikuhodo cheek brush and we're gonna apply the bronzer because I love bronzer. I like this brush because it applies a very small amount, i.e. if you have a lot of pigment with bronzers, like this one has more pigment and it has a little more red undertone. So I wanted something a little lighter in terms of application because red tones can easily look, at least for me, because I don't enjoy blush as much. So I like having a lighter application. And we're gonna get a little bit here. Very little, like 1 swipe to do like this whole area. Why do I always want to call this the undercarriage? I'm weird. Okay. Okay, this is a MAC 139. I use this to kind of blend everything. So if I apply bronzer and powder and stuff like that, I used to like to kind of clean up this area with like a face powder, but now I just like taking my bronzer and just kind of blending it, you know, kind of into that area. So it's like not quite a lot of bronzer, but it's a little bit, so it doesn't look like, you know, line, line, line. And I've just been really liking that for the past few months. We'll kind of, I don't know, just for consistency purposes, we'll just do the whole face. This is a Wayne Goss 19. Again, he's come out with all new brushes, so I don't know if this one is still, you know, being sold. Just pop some of that into the bronzer and shade the nose out a little bit. So I put concealer in this area and then I add a little bit of bronzer to the center, and that's kind of how I shape the nose. And I do the bottom part a little bit. There's very little bronzer on this brush, so there's not like gonna be like an intense amount of contouring, but it just slims the nose and adds like, you know, color to the face. So I was gonna use the highlighter from this Sienna palette, but I think I'm gonna go into Sahara because we've got candlelight here and I am obsessed with candlelight. So we're gonna do that. This is a Smashbox fan brush. I don't know, do I apply a highlighter differently than other people? Sometimes I feel like I do. I feel like people like to do this a lot, but I like go like this. Is that weird? I don't know, maybe it's like a smaller application. I'm just gonna get it into the center, just up here, not to the tip. I don't like doing the tip, but just a little bit there. Oh, this is all looking very pretty right now. Lastly, I'm gonna wipe a little bit of that Jouer lip enhancer off my top lip so that I can pile this highlighter on the top of my lip. Gorgeous. More. I love highlighting this part. For lip liner, this is Marc Jacob Nudist. My battery's dying, so I keep looking up. Highlighter on the upper lip is like life-changing. I know. I'm being ridiculous when I say that. Okay, and then this is from Hourglass. It's in the shade Influencer. I've been feeling like lighter, dare I say it, lighter pink shades lately. I don't know what it is. It all started with like that Lancome matte shaker in like Energy Peach, and it had like a like pinky vibe to it. And I just really liked the way it looked. Okay, so we are pretty much done. Oh, one more thing. I always forget this. Lately, I've been like going to work and like leaving the house without doing wing liner and without doing bottom lash mascara, which I don't know why I'm like so absent-minded lately, but it's just how it is. So we're gonna take our Maybelline Lash Sensational Curvitude. So I use the top part and I really get into the bottom lashes. Okay, I'm gonna make the face, guys. I really try not to make the face, but I'm gonna make the face. So you can immediately see like the smokiness. It's dark, and then I take the bottom part, which is like the longer teeth, and comb it out. Can you see the difference? So pretty, right? You can actually see lashes. I love it. Oh, this is the new Holy Grail mascara. This makes everything look amazing. Like everything in this area. I wish it could fix the rest of my life. Okay, we are done. We're gonna wrap this up. What can I share with you as kind of like to close this thing down? I will link the Artis brushes, their Instagram, and then the videos, because for someone that, you know, is very into makeup, I still watch the videos to kind of learn kind of how they want you to use the brushes, which is really cool. I actually have this palm brush that I have to share with you. I need to play with this more before I review this for you, but the other brushes, you know, I've already had experience with a lot of the face brushes. The eye brushes and the Oval 3 was like a very fun experience, and I'm very excited about those, especially the Oval 3. The Oval 3 just like changes concealer life completely. And then GRAFTOBIAN, there's a 15% off code I'm gonna link below. It's not a me code, I don't get anything if you use it. It's just a code that GRAFTOBIAN is like passing along to you guys. Obviously I highly recommend this. I've shared a lot of GRAFTOBIAN with you, with the bronzer, eyeshadows, kind of like dual pots for the eyes, so whatever you like, but this is bomb. I mean, look at my cheekbones. Okay, obviously I don't do these kind of videos very often. Let me know what you want to see more of. Let me know what you want to see less of. What should I talk more about? What should I talk less about? All that. So I will respond to you. See you in the comments. Bye.